Mm-hmm.
And we are live for another Biddle. And here is Colin.
Hiya, Colin.
Colin, is your audio working right out of the box? No, he must have hopped.
I was just about to say he hopped. So he's working some stuff out.
Yep.
Okay, you.
There he is.
Very quiet, Colin.
I didn't have no sound, so I was just wondering.
I hear a voice. Ah, there he is. Hi, Colin.
Hi, Bob. How you going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good, thank you. How is everybody?
Awesome. Hanging out with you guys.
I was hanging out with Toss yesterday.
Were you?
Yeah, I went on there just to sit and watch and maybe type a few things and join me, he says.
Oh, yeah?
So, and Coding Commander's joined and she took us for a little bit of a walk down the Florida beach.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, quite good. He was on there for 6 hours yesterday, Toss was.
Oh, wow.
6 hours?
Without a break?
He took a bit of a break.
You did, but what about him?
No, he did, yeah.
Oh,
he took
okay.
a break. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot of fun.
Gosh. So, Colin, what did you hop to this week?
Mate, I'm still on, what was I on last week? I think it was Ubuntu Budgie. I'm still on it. Alan did a video yesterday on how I set up my desktop, but I've been installing everything on my laptop here. So Pop OS, Zorin, Ubuntu Mate. What else have I got on there? Geez, I've got everything on there. I haven't got.
How large a drive do you have?
It's 320 gig, but I've split it up into about 8 partitions.
Oh, wow.
I was going to make it 10. I can, but I made some of them a little bit bigger. MX 17.1, Deepin. I mean, you know what? I'm actually liking Deepin at the moment.
Are you?
It's not, yeah. Yeah,
Deepin is very much like, sorry, I was going to say Deepin is very much like elementary. If you can just use it, it's a great OS. It's really,
yep.
I wouldn't say it's quick, but it's workable.
Right. Well, that's how I feel about elementary. And I can't wait until Juno comes out, dude. I can't wait.
So what are you on, Rocco?
Anyway, Zeb, how you been?
No, we're not going to let you get away with it like you normally do.
What's he done now? I can't remember what he was on last week. Are you
well,
on
that's a good thing.
Budgie.
Oh,
yeah.
You're not getting out of it, Rocco. You're not getting out of it.
Okay, well, so here's the thing. I had to switch because I did something. Now, I don't know if I did it or if something did it. Windows did it. I don't know. But every single one of my drives would not boot into Linux. Like, my whole grub was completely destroyed, every one of them. And I couldn't do anything. I couldn't boot into any one of them. Wow. So I tried to grub boot repair, and that was unsuccessful. Hey, there's Chicken.
With a good camera.
With a good camera.
Nice.
Holy mackerel, that's awesome. Anyway.
Good camera, no mic.
So anyway, I tried everything I could find. So then I figured, you know what? I'm just going to reinstall, or I'm just going to install the 1804 version of Mate over my full Mate install. So I did that, and then my grub was fine. And then I was able to boot back into Budgie, and everything was all good until like a day later, and I couldn't boot back into Budgie again. The grub was completely messed up. I have no idea what's going on with it. None.
Wow.
That's weird.
That's unusual.
So I ended up installing Ubuntu 1804.
Interesting.
And that's what I'm on now.
With the GNOME desktop?
Yep.
Oh, you like the GNOME desktop?
I do.
You should. Honestly.
Is that what you're using now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. You're shutting.
Is this working?
Yeah, you are there, Chicken. Now we can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how this works.
Modern technology, huh?
I know, right?
He's so used to the mobile app that he's forgotten how to use it on the desktop.
Yep.
Yeah, it's taken a toll on me just a little bit. I was going to say you should install 1804 and then install all of the elementary beta PPAs over top of that, and
Totally mess everything up.
Oh
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It'll break everything, but it'll be beautiful while you do it.
I'm so disappointed though in Pantheon Mail because I cannot get it to stop crashing. And I guess that's because it's on.
Yeah, I
Lubuntu.
mean it's on the beta channel. So one of the reasons you'll probably run into issues is not necessarily just because it's running on a different OS. That's typically not a problem if it's running on Ubuntu. But because they're making a lot of changes right now, I mean, it is on the beta channel, but Ubuntu itself is also using kind of like slightly different things than they're using at the moment because they're dealing with 1604 and then, 1710 had a different sort of dependency set, and then 1804 has a different dependency set. So until they, fully rebased stable onto 1804, you'll probably see some crashing and stuff until it's situated.
Right.
So can you hear me now?
But that doesn't explain why his grub keeps disappearing.
No, well, I don't know what happened. So the only things that I did was install Zorin OS to a separate drive, just like I do for everything else. So I don't think that had anything to do with it. But that's the only thing that I actually did that might have caused anything, except maybe a fragmented Windows update or something, but like that's on another drive, so that could have messed something up, I guess. But I have no idea what happened.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now, bro.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Are we live? Yeah, are we live?
Yep.
Of course we are, man.
We have been since
I got 41 viewers right
10:29.
now.
Okay. I didn't.
We were
remember I was
early
saying
this
we're going
evening.
live.
Yeah, by a minute. And we're waiting for Michael to arrive fashionably late,
Of course, as
Fashionably
usual.
on
as
time.
usual.
I think I've got a bad internet
Got
tonight.
something for these. I must have sunglasses here somewhere so I look cooler.
Michael was just a little late today. He said, and 1.5 hour still missing.
Oh man.
So
He only went for 1.5 hours.
no. He should have started 7.
Late.
He went for 3.5 hours. Michael went for 3.5 hours today.
I was talking to him earlier. We were kind of testing out Rocket League to make sure it was going to work on this. So anyway, he said that he was pretty tired, so I don't know if he'll make it tonight.
Oh,
I
right,
see that.
okay.
And if he does, he'll come in with a grand entrance like he normally does.
Of
Oh,
course. Of course.
Always.
Except he's going to be down at the bottom of the screen. He's not going to have his central spot that he gets. Unless Rocco moves people around on the grid.
Yeah, no, probably not. I don't think it's necessary for this to move people around. So
Aviators.
Yeah.
there you go. Nice.
Oh, and well,
Uh-oh, he needs the hat.
And now he's a Fedora user.
There you go. Dude, I can't wear my cowboy hat anymore because I wear the big headphones, and I used to wear like little earbuds.
Oh yeah, that'll do
Stop,
it.
cat.
Oh, that's a bummer, man. You got to get like a hat that like has it built in. That would be awesome. Like little clips for the headphones. That's a great idea.
That is a
Headphones.
great
There you go.
idea.
I'm surprised nobody's thought of it.
It's such a
probably
necessity in today's world, you know.
just get yourself some little Bluetooth buds.
Of course, we got a little cup here.
Well,
So,
that's,
Matt-
Yeah.
Matt, what are you on now?
Depends what computer I'm on.
Well, okay. Wait, I didn't mean in real life. I meant, what is your desktop?
Ooh, burn.
Oh boy.
I meant what computer am I on?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Good job, Rocco. Good job.
Oh, now you're here.
You're on the ball.
That,
You got
that was
this.
good. Thank you.
Okay.
You're on point with the sarcasm today, Rocco. I love
Okay. So what desktop are you running?
I recently installed Chaos actually on my Lenovo Yoga.
Really?
How do you like it?
It's KDE. KDE with select packages and 64-bit only. So,
Yeah, but you're not a big KD guy, are you?
I use everything. Like I'm using the Surface with Unity, and
I know, but
I'm using Solus on my gaming machine, and I'm using Chaos on the other one.
yeah, but what I'm saying is like you're not a big KDE guy, and that is a distribution for somebody that's into KDE.
I've been more interested in the independent-based distros, like Solus and those kind of things, than I have been, say, the traditional, like 5 or 6 core distros that kick around, So I wanted to try something different, and I tried Chaos. So.
Nice. And how long's it been on?
About a week, actually.
Wow.
It's pretty
I
good.
got pretty much everything installed that I needed to. It's a little weird seeing some GTK apps in the user repositories, but especially when they lean on the KDE end of things. So that's a little weird. But other than that, like in the default repositories, it's all KDE.
I mean, stuff like GIMP, I could see. Like,
well, it's like weird stuff like Sinalira CV.
Oh,
like that's the user repository, so it's
That's
just
pretty
really
strange.
hard to find in there. Yeah. So
are you
It's
experiencing any crashing at all or anything like that?
no, it's been pretty stable actually. My biggest issue originally when I first tried installing Chaos was the Yogas always have issues with like the touchscreen being registered as the trackpad and the trackpad not working. So every distro I use.
Right.
This one it just worked.
You know where it would have worked too?
Where?
Chicken, tell them where it would have worked.
Oh,
that's right, buddy. Elementary OS. You see, I can tell you all about this.
You're just a shill for elementary. We know.
Oh,
better.
it's so good.
It is really good. I'll tell you what, if it
except for it wouldn't have, because every Ubuntu-based distro I tried didn't work.
Elementary would.
Right.
And you got to give it a go.
If it was on 1804 base right now, I'd be on it. But I can't. So as soon as it's out, as soon as Juno is out, I am probably not gonna say that I will, but I'm probably, unless there's like major disruption, I'm probably going to be on it.
So you're saying you will, more or less. Like, come on, Rocco.
That's the plan, dude. That's the plan. That's the plan. I'm with you.
Rocco's gonna hop.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
So what else
big
is
news,
new?
huh, Seb?
So by July he's gonna hop.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Look at this stuff.
Whose is that?
It's
Who is
awesome.
that?
This is elementary
That's-
OS.
That's elementary OS, dude.
This is me showing you guys your full potential.
It is beautiful. I'm sorry.
With the small exception of there's no dark theme for the menu.
There is.
Is there now?
I bamboozled you. I can do this. I've done it multiple times.
You have to show us.
Look,
some CSS.
They're doing so many improvements in elementary. It's becoming to the point where now it's no longer like it used to be before, that elementary was kind of like locked down and didn't have the feature set that other desktops have, and it's getting to the point now where it pretty much has everything you need.
They just needed me on board.
It's too easy. You don't want that.
Oh yeah, you do want that. You just don't know it yet.
No, I was gonna say, actually, my biggest gripe with elementary has never been the lockdown nature of it. It's just I can't certain things with the like dark themes and stuff like that. That's just my preference. Kind of like you, Rocco, and that one pixel off thing.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, shots
Yeah,
fired
I get
across the
it.
bow.
I get it. But go ahead, Colin.
No, it's all right. I lost what I was going to say. So.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I took it from you.
No, you didn't. No. Probably a scene.
We got.
Moment.
I think you might be having a bit of internet connection problem, Colin. You're
Yeah, but that's
Stuttering.
copy
I am.
audio.
Yeah, definitely. But you know, I might jump off and I might try and come on, but this internet last night was really, really bad as well. So I'll be back.
You've taken my place.
Yes.
I'll be back.
Yeah, get off
I
elementary.
can't work the waiting room, by
Yeah.
the way, Rocco.
How can Aussie internet be that bad?
Ah,
It's not. It's awesome. It's pretty much awesome. Lamer?
Okay.
Lamer.
Hi, Lama.
I don't think he could hear us. Can you hear me?
yes.
He's still working it out,
Joe,
yeah.
how are you?
I have a mic, but I don't think it sounds any different.
It does.
It does.
It sounds completely different. You don't have that complete background noise that you had before.
I thought you guys were
It's a
just going to say it
$29
works.
mic.
You don't have the echo.
It's
echo.
okay. It's
Yeah,
quite
no.
all right.
Okay, good. I bought the sock for it. I didn't know if I needed it or not, but whatever.
So, Joe,
like
did you
socks.
finally? I would hope you like socks.
Yeah,
You finally fix that humming issue that you were having with it.
yeah. I went and got I bought a 3-foot because I know I've got another one around here, but I bought a 3.0 3-foot USB cable and plugged it directly into the PC instead of running it through the multi-port
powered hub.
adapter that I had, and I think that's what you called it when you said that, Matt. That I might have been getting interference, and that's exactly what I think happened. Because as soon as I pulled out my keyboard and I pulled out my camera, I just ran a test. It was fine, and I plugged in the camera, and it was still fine as soon as I plugged the keyboard in. So I think it was actually the Logitech keyboard, and it might be because it's it's a lick keyboard. So
It's just so intense.
yeah,
Exactly.
But
No, that's cool.
yeah, it's okay for what it is, I guess. I ordered the wrong rants, and I thought, instead of screw it, I'll just try this out for now and see how it works. I mean, for $29, you can't complain.
No,
Yeah, it
actually,
sounds pretty good.
sounds really good actually for the $30.
Yeah, and
Whoops,
it's
we lost
about
another.
a foot away from my face. So I mean,
Dun,
And there he is.
Hey, Mike.
It's Tux
Michael.
Digital.
Can you guys hear
It's
me?
Tux. Can now.
Yeah, Mike.
Lamer? Lamer, you got your sound
We can
working?
hear you, but we can
Yeah.
hardly see you, Lama.
Yeah, he's got.
It's okay. It's okay.
Webcam's not that great.
Can you turn your you got a light shining from over your head?
It's my ceiling fan. Sorry.
Oh.
Don't worry about it. It's all right. We don't need to see the video too good. So what's happening,
As long
man?
as we can hear you, that's
Unless
Well.
you're Michael and you got to show the hair.
yeah.
He's frozen.
He is.
There you go.
Oh, there we
Yeah.
go.
He
He
moved.
moved one frame.
It's progress.
Now another one.
There we go.
Another one.
Zeb,
He's
did you
messing
see?
with us by not moving.
Did you see you have a fan in the chat there, Zeb?
Cat.
Zeb has
No.
lots of fans.
Oh,
He
Steve.
does.
Hiya, Steve. Yeah, I know Steve from the Peppermint channels on Google Plus and stuff. So he's another Peppermint fan.
Michael, is your sound working?
Maybe
Maybe.
he's just trying. Maybe he's just being silent.
Maybe.
tonight.
Michael doesn't know what the definition of silence is.
I know that. I know that. That's not in
No,
his
he's
lexicon.
got something going on because he froze again. And I don't think
He didn't freeze.
Really good at playing the
Freeze frame.
the movement game. Yeah, see, there you go.
Freeze
Look,
frame.
you're messing with us.
Of course, it sounds working. Mike's on.
Or he's going to show us that he can be quiet for more than 1 minute.
He can be. I've seen
I
it
know.
happen.
2 minutes.
Two
Not
minutes.
very
Really?
often. Not very often, but I've seen it happen.
Michael's at 2 minutes, 2 seconds, 2 nanoseconds.
He's not answering.
Oh, you're no like anything. You're just no fun right now. I'm gonna have to like
It's too
keep poking
quiet.
I know. I'm gonna have to
And we
keep
have to
poking the
pick up
bear
the
to
slack. What are we going to do?
I can
He's
keep poking
tired.
the
He needs
Let's
to
put
go
this
to
phone
bed.
sleep, actually.
bear. I'll go poke the bear occasionally, and yeah.
I wonder
Goated.
why you can't work the waiting room there, Zeb. That's bogus.
It's really weird, isn't it? I mean, I'm sitting there as a co-host, but every time I clicked on Lama, nothing happened.
Huh.
interesting.
I'll just have to keep an eye on it, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, Lamer, what are you running?
Antergos.
Really? Which the
XFCE.
Nice. So why would you choose Antergos over, say, like Manjaro?
Antergos I just like because it's more of an arch feel to it than Manjaro. How Manjaro holds you back from updates.
Right. Get their updates right away.
Yep.
Nice. Did you guys see Manjaro's website?
Yeah, it's great.
It's awesome. She can send it to me. Go to their website, manjaro.org, and see what you get.
Super cool.
We're all hitting it at the same time.
Yeah, do it.
Just hear everybody clicking and
bomb the website.
Oh dear God.
Oh.
All the
Not
reactions.
That's crazy.
Yep.
It's neat, isn't
I'm
it?
assuming they're getting that ready for April the 1st, are they?
Yeah.
They were actually, I think, 3 minutes early at their time zone for April 1st.
Maybe the clock was off.
It's pretty cool, though.
Oh,
Carl?
that is. But that's like, oh.
Back in my day.
So Commodore 64.
Mm-hmm. Carl Schneider in the house.
Carl.
I'm sorry, but that just reminds me of the early days of my playing with Slackware.
Manjaro is the Linux Mint of Arch. Come on.
Dare you.
I'll tell you what, Manjaro does a really, really good job on their XFCE version. I have to admit that. I am not a big Arch fan, but their XFCE version is really good. And comparing it to something like Antergos, man, Antergos' XFCE version is... I think it's uglier than any XFCE version I've ever tried in my life. I'm just saying.
Oh, really? Michael's almost taking offense to that.
Right.
You almost
And
made
he
him
has
comment.
this-
I will
He's still
say,
not speaking.
look, I will say that Antergos GNOME is probably one of the best implementations of GNOME out there. And their KDE version is close behind. But their XFCE version is terrible. I'm sorry. It's just terrible.
There's such a thing as a good implementation of GNOME.
Yes.
There
Yes,
is.
Matt, there is.
It's a
I'm
matter
on
of
one
fact,
right now.
OS.
I know. I'm just giving you grief. I'm waiting for Michael to jump in here because normally he would jump on that bandwagon.
He's trying to prove a point that he can be quiet.
I think he unplugged his
Rocco,
mic.
Yeah. Okay. I can't.
do you still have problems with dual monitors on XFCE?
Okay, so I haven't tried it in the last 2 weeks, I guess, but I think 3 weeks ago, right when the betas first came out, the 1804 beta, I downloaded Lubuntu, and I tried it, and it still had the same issue.
What issue? Because
Really?
I've been using it on 2 machines. What is your issue that you're having? Because they
It
fixed
just-
a lot of stuff.
It just will not come up as the right monitor. So all the way through the programs, like say a game or,
Okay.
and I have it set to the primary monitor. I have the Xorg config. I have everything changed the way it should be, but
Okay.
games or Windows or whatever just end up popping up on the wrong monitor, and I just can't handle that. So
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, the kind of issues I'd had with XFCE between like dual monitor stuff, but even single monitor stuff, I've only had this happen on like high refresh rate monitors, is that like when it goes to sleep and you go to bring it back up, it just doesn't. Like the monitor stays blank.
Yes.
I don't understand what's going on, but it was a roadblock for me because I use the sleep function of my monitor, especially when I'm rendering stuff in the background, but I still need it to be there.
Mm-hmm. That happens a lot on a lot of XFCE implementations. So much so that when I go to bed of a night time, I have to physically turn my monitor off rather than let power management drop it off. Because you're right, no matter what you do, it just will not pick it back up.
I'm hoping this next XFCE update, which probably coming this year, will hopefully solve some of those problems. Probably is the key word there. Actually, maybe.
But it's not elementary, so why waste your time?
Exactly. See, now you get it. You get me.
I'll stick with my Ubuntu Mate. I'm sorry.
Ski, what did I do to you, man? Ski says that I'm still in beta, meaning me.
You are sitting on my mouse.
Whatever.
I try to get it.
And Chip said that if you install the adaptive theme and the papyrus icons on Antergos XFCE, it'll be very pretty. Well, you may be right because they're both a really good theme and a really good icon set, but you shouldn't have to. Like, I mean, Antergos puts a lot of work into the GNOME part of their version, and it just doesn't seem like they put a lot of effort into the XFCE. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Antergos GNOME is really great.
It is. It really is.
So the Plasma is pretty good too.
Yep.
Well, you know what? Actually, the only reason I wasn't using Antergos and KDE was because the little package manager thing. I think it's PMAC. The window buttons are like part of the app. Like they don't follow like the KDE rules. So if I set them to be on the left or follow a certain theme, they just stick with like the normal GTK stuff. So I was like, I'm just not going to use it. Little things like that. It bothers me.
That's Manjaro's fault.
And he speaks.
2 minutes.
As far as I'm concerned, if I can't get the little window icons,
I think it was more than.
I won't use it.
2 minutes.
I think that's for.
That was pretty. That was impressive. I wouldn't be able to do that. People need me to talk. See, I wouldn't be able to.
Right. But I would say it's Manjaro's fault because Manjaro makes PMAC.
Yeah, definitely. It annoys
they don't,
me.
and they make it for XFCE, so they don't really care if it works.
Yeah. I think they use Octopi for their KDE implementation, so I don't think they're even going to try.
All right, back to silence.
Okay.
Yeah, wait. So, no, Ski says, Ski asked me what I'm running today. Like, Ski, why'd you have to put today in there? You act like I, like, hop all the time or something, dude.
It's in italics as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, really. There's no need to put that out.
Different than last week.
It's preposterous.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
I mean, well, good GNOME implementations came up, and speaking of GNOME implementations, have any of you guys, looked into or tried the new Pop OS installer? Like it's beta right now, but it's looking pretty neat. I installed it at a Best Buy, and
what?
I got permission.
You nuked and paved.
I nuked and paved a Best Buy demo machine with their permission.
Did the guy actually work there, or?
Well, I hope so. He's there about as often as I am.
He had a blue shirt. He said I could. I mean,
he said I could. Yeah. But
he said, man,
it was pretty quick. It was pretty straightforward. Like they don't have the manual partitioning in there yet, but it did what it was supposed to do, and it did it pretty well. Especially for an early phase. I like what they're doing with the kind of here's the option to encrypt it. Here's what it does. Do you want to do it? And it even explains like a slight performance degradation during high impact tasks on the disk I/O, and it's looking pretty good.
Did the employees watch it?
I actually had someone that was in the store ask me about it, and
did they describe it as poppin'?
Poppin'.
No. Well, what did they? I seen on the Twitter account. What did they say? It was like 67 seconds. I think it was.
I think that was the fastest one they've got. Yeah, 67 or so.
It has got the manual partitioning.
Oh, do they add that now?
I installed it the other day. It didn't have the manual partitioning, and I checked the SH256 sum, and it was wrong according to what was on the website. So I downloaded it again, and then the SH256 sum was correct. So,
wow! So they're on a roll. They've already put in a new
They did ISO. Because when I went to check it, that's the only reason that I didn't install it, because it was only for it didn't have the manual partition, and it would wipe whatever drive you had. Yeah. And I have like 4 different partitions on there.
That's right.
That's why you got to go to your local Best Buy and.
Yeah, I never even thought about that before.
Yeah.
Huh.
Just try it again.
Was that 67 seconds from you finished messing about with getting it all set up, and then you press go, and then it does it? Or are you saying that 67 seconds including your setup, your username, and all that?
No, I don't. I think it's probably from the go mark, because it didn't say. It was just a tweet, and I don't think it said like where it was starting. It just said start to finish 67 seconds or something like that for an install.
Well, I'll have to check that out.
With being encrypted, so...
Wow, because the fastest for me has always been Solus, which always does it in under 90 seconds.
Yeah, you'll have to check it out and let us know.
Really impressive. Yeah, I'll give it a test tomorrow or today for me, and I'll let you guys know.
Does everybody realize what time it is?
I can put it over the top of Ubuntu 17.10.
Yeah, there you go.
See, there's an idea.
That.
Yeah. Did not enjoy my challenge. Didn't last very long, I tell you.
For me, MX17 is actually fast to install.
Wow.
MX17, wow, okay.
MX17 is installed before you even know it's installed, to be honest. It just does things so quick.
Yeah. The first time I ever toyed with MX, I saw this cool little thing in the boot menu. It said RAM, so I clicked on that, and then it was some kind of terminal prompt. I don't know. It was quick and it did stuff. So I loaded it up and I installed it to a drive that I wasn't sure I was supposed to install it on. And I mean, I broke something else, but I mean, MX worked beautifully. And
was this just trashed the rest of your system?
It was nice.
So did you do this in Target or Fry's?
Micro Center, actually.
Oh, okay.
Try New Egg next time.
I'm gonna try that. Just go to any computer store locally and.
Well, I always do that, especially because you don't have to like buy hardware to toy around with it. If you just use like a live USB, you can get like a general look and feel of it on like really new and up to date hardware. Like if it makes you feel more comfortable, definitely like ask them just to hey, can I boot it into this live USB? Like I've always had a good experience with them. I mean, I am there like a lot. I don't work there, but I might as well live there.
I was going to ask you, how does that conversation start? Like, you just walk up and say, "Hey, do you mind if I install this on this USB?"
Kind of. You just kind of like like I just asked if it was okay if I booted into it. Like it wasn't like installing anything or anything. But I know a few of the employees like well enough. We kind of chat, tech stuff, and whatnot. I just asked because they reflash the devices quite often because people break them quite often. So he said, yeah, no, go ahead. And I had someone actually who was walking by was pretty interested in it. So I was talking to him about, Pop! OS and Linux and stuff like that. And he went home with a fresh install of Pop! OS as well as a flash drive. So it was a good experience.
I'll say.
Nice.
That's not too often that you can convince somebody to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. I was expecting the kind of like old man approach, but no, he was down to the ground.
I have as a pessimistic viewpoint of this. What does he go? He's like, I need tech support. How do I
gave him my number?
A random person. Oh, okay, you did give him okay, that's fine. I'm just like, it's some random person getting access to it. Aubrey's never tried before in Best Buy.
It's a little suspicious.
Same as everybody else. You go on the forums.
But he doesn't even know what he's running. Maybe
I gave him like a 45-minute rundown during the install and stuff. And
all right, did you tell him to go to tuxedo.com/chicken?
Oh, I should have. I had an opportunity.
Look at Big Daddy flashing it up there.
Oh, jeez.
That was by mistake, actually.
Just catch the live stream.
I was going to say, what's going on here? Are we doing a promo?
That was super cool.
I had that. I was going to do it in the intro, but the problem is I put that as a stinger in OBS, but it will not play the sound of that transition.
Oh.
So I couldn't do it in the beginning, but whenever I have it set to do that in the transition, I shouldn't have. But
you have to add an audio capture for the transition.
Oh, that makes sense because that'll put it onto the audio track itself.
You need an audio capture for your sound device, your onboard sound device. So you need to. It should automatically do it depending on the kind of sticker, but the stinger might not do that right. So you got to have. It's better to. If you add an audio capture, you can test to see if it's working or not.
Yeah.
You should have a THX sound now, like in the movies.
Yeah, right.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
That would be good.
Well, there's sound to it. I mean, it's a cool intro, but I mean, like, yeah, I didn't mean to play it right then and there. I was just trying to get the new logo up.
Well, I think you got to play it again now. I didn't see it. So.
Yeah, let's take a look at it again.
All right, so here, just check out the live.
Oh, fancy!
Is that Michael walk in the gantry?
That is me.
That is cool.
Fancy.
Look at the guy walking along the top. Yeah.
So, but like I said, I can't get the
that
sound.
Could be Ryan. Sabotage it. You're trying to blow
Where
it
is he
up.
again? Gee, he's
I don't know.
Barbara, we already know where he is. He's walking on that sign for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Zeb.
I mean, he hasn't shown up lately. What's he afraid of?
Actually, I didn't ask. I asked Ryan earlier what's going on, and he said he wasn't going to be able to make it because I guess his wife was away. So
he's got his kid.
Yeah. He's been having the kids all week.
He's taking care of the kids by himself because his wife is out of town.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Excuses.
That's why.
Yeah, I know. Family. What an excuse.
Rocco, you need to play it again because I want to see that guy walking across if he's carrying a backpack with a steel rope.
I don't think people want to see it a third time.
You can use it as the outro.
Yeah. Well, Michael, you'll have to help me figure out how to actually put that audio in there, because if I start OBS up and I switch from, say, Destination Linux scenes to the Big Daddy Linux live scenes, it will play the sound. The first thing, it'll just transition from that to this. But if I do a transition, like in the middle of it, it will not play the sound. I have no idea why. So
interesting. We will test.
We will do some testing.
Shoot the troubles.
Ben's asking you a question in chat, I think, Big Daddy.
Yeah.
Can I join us some issues on Ubuntu on my MacBook? Hey, you can join, Ben. I don't know if we'll be able to help you with your issues, but yeah, you can join. The link should be in the description.
So, Rocco, what did you put up before? I didn't see anything. Or are we looking somewhere else?
It's an intro that I have. And, oh my gosh, look. The chicken, elementary OS chicken.
Oh.
Wow. See, that makes more sense. It was like chicken not on a phone.
I was going to say, what happened?
Yeah, I was going to say, and chicken's back on his phone.
What happened to your desktop, dude?
Everything. They're doing stuff in the living room. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Apparently.
Oh, so you're actually being nice and not taking all the bandwidth?
Kind of, yeah. I don't like that. I don't like. Oh, I dropped it.
You know, that doesn't happen with a desktop, right?
Right.
Oh, does it now?
No, it doesn't.
And if it does, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
I'll say.
Earthquake.
Hell yeah.
So I got an icy dock. Michael.
Oh. Is that one?
Have you fitted it yet?
The hot swap docks there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
So what I got in, it fits in the DVD drive slot, and you can fit 4 SSDs in it. So I took out all of my 4 or 3 SSDs that I had in there and put them in the icy dock. And now if I go to install something, I can just shut them off and not have to
This
worry about it.
episode of Big Daddy Linux Live is brought to you by the icy dock.
There.
That's what I got.
You can find the
Does
Amazon
each
affiliate
individual
link.
drive have a power unit?
What's that?
Does each drive have a power unit?
No.
There's one power unit to
One
the
power for the
icy dock.
Fancy.
Each one has a
what do you
separate.
just?
Each one has a separate power switch.
Oh, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one power for the one actual power cord port, but each drive has its own power button.
Right.
And
I want one of those. I so want one of those.
Okay, well here's a link to the Amazon.
You can use my Amazon affiliate link.
Considering I showed you this and you didn't use the link, sir.
Battle of the
Battle of the affiliates.
Wait. I got an affiliate link. This is my channel. No, go ahead. I don't care.
I've got an R6, Define R6 case, and it's got a front door on it, and I don't want to take it off. I was looking at it thinking, because what it is the drives go in all the way, but the eject button sticks out.
No,
so,
yeah, that's fine.
I don't think it'll close with the door. There's not a lot of space. So I'm thinking, though, I might be able to put it back, recess it a little bit so it's just behind, so it doesn't look like it's sitting way in the frame, just recessed a little bit, I'm hoping.
No, that's fine.
Depending on your case, you can recess it a little bit, Joe, but mine does the same thing. I didn't think it was actually going to close because there's not a whole lot of room. But even though the power button or the eject switch does stick out, the door does close on mine anyway.
Well, on the Define series cases have padding on the inside too, because it's a silent.
I have a Define R4.
Oh, well, that's the same case. Okay. Yeah, I switched out from an R4 to R5.
Isn't that what I got? A Define, I think.
There's an R4, R5, and R6. It's just like
an R5.
Version. I have an R4, I think.
Yeah.
And the door doesn't close
door,
completely perfectly, no. But there's a gap about this much, and that's it.
Right.
It closes fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it technically is closed, and you wouldn't notice it unless you paid attention. So it's not like it's going to hang open or anything.
Mine closes completely.
Well, aren't you special?
I just telling you.
Well, and honestly, like I said, you have the front cover bezel has a little bit of a space too, so I could recess it just behind that, and it won't look like there's a gap. It'll just look like it's recessed. So that would be
you can recess it. The way my case is set up is that it's really hard to. The screws don't allow you to recess much. But if you recess it 1/8 of an inch, that's enough.
Yeah.
Chicken. Those eyebrows are.
I've been ignoring him. I've been ignoring him.
So, Rocco, is this called the, if we do a Google search for the enhanced hopping tool, you'll find the IC dock, is that right? Or
well, you'll find a picture of Michael pointing to the IC dock is what you'll find. Or you could just follow the link in the YouTube chat that he put in there.
But wait,
find it.
There's more.
I'm actually making a product review video for it, too.
Yeah, that's coming out soon.
Yeah. Yes. See?
Yeah, right along with that Hannah Montana Linux review.
No.
Yeah, we're still waiting for the
No.
updated
Hannah Montana Linux is not important. We're talking about the IC dock, okay?
This week.
He's got to get that.
Anyway, yeah.
I got.
Just so you know, the IC dock link doesn't work. It takes you to your YouTube channel.
It's because YouTube is terrible. It's because YouTube is terrible. It breaks all my links. It's very mean.
That's because you shouldn't be posting that link.
No, you break your link too, because YouTube breaks the link. Okay. YouTube breaks.
So Rocco, out of the business end of this IC dock, I'm assuming you still need 4 power supply connectors and 4.
No. 1 power connector and 4 SATAs.
All you need is 4 SATAs.
You do need the 4 SATA connectors, though, yeah?
Yes. Yeah. They're individual connections for the motherboard. They're not individual for the power. It also has a fan on the back that has a controller in the front, so you can have, like, if you have SSDs, you don't need the fan, but if you have hard drives, you would need the fan. So it compensates for both of those. You can also, if you don't need the fan, you can use the jumper and turn it off completely. So, but
it's not going to hurt to have the fan on with the SSDs.
No, it wouldn't. I actually have it. I left the jumper on. I just have it all the way down.
Yeah.
So in case I do need it at some point, maybe like an overheating SSD or something, which is very unlikely, almost impossible. But if it happens,
Derek.
Well, because there's no mechanical moving parts, are there, in an SSD as such?
Nah.
Right.
No, but if you hit it with a taser, I bet it'll catch on.
Always the problem solver.
Only you.
Chicken, what are you doing, man?
Okay. So
He's playing with his eyebrows is what he's doing.
Have you ever done the worm? I'm trying to do that with my eyebrows.
Good Lord.
Wow. Derek, what did you join here, man? Oh, he must have hopped.
Wait, didn't he say he was going to?
He must have hopped
You
because
can
his
hear
sound's
us,
not
but we
working.
can't hear you, Derek.
You hopped and your sound's messed up.
Hey, Derek, remember how you said everybody who joined last week was having perfect sound things? You pretty much jinxed yourself this week.
Yeah.
I think it's because he calculated wrong.
Maybe.
Rocco, you mind if I try a screen share here for Zeb to see the back of his dock?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can now, brother.
Yeah, I hopped.
Let me know if you see it.
Yes.
Yep, we see it.
We see it.
Yep.
That's the back, and these
The heck
arrows,
is-
the arrows point to which dock you're using for the which drive. Like you've got 4 of these,
Yeah, that's the front of it.
depending on which one you've got. And then this jumper, there's a jumper behind this cord. You pull it off and put it on this one, and the fan will be off all the time. But I don't know that that's necessary because you can adjust the fan up and down right here. So
It's not necessary.
okay, now let me
Excellent.
figure out how to stop sharing here. Rocco, help.
There should be a
And that
red
would
button
give
at
me
the
room
top.
for
I think.
another.
Okay.
There it goes.
I've
Yeah, but
never
what
done
it does is
before
it
out here, so
when you do that, it just my screen goes from my window goes from being full screen to.
But I've got something better for you guys. I just found out that if somebody's screen sharing, you can draw on their screen.
Is that what he was doing? Was
You were
just
drawing
fiddling?
on his screen?
You were drawing on his screen?
Yeah.
I guarantee you he was drawing elementary OS. Guaranteed.
I wouldn't be.
Well, am I wrong?
No.
Okay, good.
So Rocco, which one do you have? I was asking before. Do you have just a dual bay or a quad?
Quad.
Yeah.
They only make a
You're
quad
working
for
those
this.
quads.
No, there's a dual. There's a two, and you have to buy the tray, the 3.5 inch conversion tray.
Yeah, but it's a different type of bay. It's a different bay. So there's only one of this particular FlexiDock model. There's only a quad. Like the Icy Dock has other docks because that's the name of the company, but this particular model is the only one.
No, I'm telling you, I've got one there's a dual too with the same power buttons and all that, and you just would have to buy the 5 1/4 or the 3.5 inch tray. They have it. I was looking at it tonight.
Ooh, there's an 8 bay.
Link it up.
And the only reason I was thinking about that is I thought, do I really want to put 4 more drives there or just 2 more? So
4 for sure.
Yeah.
We've got a
I'm
2
against the
bay.
4 bay.
No. Okay, you have a good point. What you should do is get 2 of them so you can have 8.
There you go.
Okay. You got a 2
So there's
bay.
an 8 bay already on its
8
own.
But it doesn't have power.
Yeah, but then you have to the other side of the coin with that is then you have to get an adapter, a SATA adapter to be able to run the extra 4. Because I mean, my board's got 6, but
Yeah, and you get a PCI card, you get more, and make sure it has a total of 6 more. And then what you do is get 3 of those docks. And now, admittedly, your desktop might not be able to fit 3, but you could connect it in some like other kind of who knows.
let me see. I think there's 2 in here. I don't know.
I like that idea.
Yeah, there's 2. That's good.
Yeah, there's only 2 for me.
No, I've got a DVD drive in one of them, if you could believe that. So
Why would you have that?
I do use it from time to time, but I actually have a portable one now. So if I ever wanted to pull it out, it wouldn't matter.
How
Who
much is
uses
the 4 bay?
DVDs?
I do.
I took the DVD drive out of my
I still-
computer.
Yeah, I still have a 3.5 inch floppy drive somewhere around here.
Every so often,
But it's
I
not
have
hooked up.
favorite
Is it?
droid from
or
Star
something.
Wars.
I think it's $50.
That's $51 for the quad.
Yeah.
51 something.
Yeah,
Yep.
I took the DVD drive out of my computer and use a laptop caddy drive.
That works.
So I can put a
That's
second
right.
hard drive on here.
Yep.
I have.
Mine.
Well, I already have one of the IC docks for the single regular spinning hard drives. So this one just adds
Don't you mean
the,
your Rico?
Who uses spinning drives anymore?
the what?
Yeah, that's true.
Rico?
I don't know. Is that what it is?
Well, that's frustrating. They don't.
The one-
have
if you're talking about the
model
one I
that
sent you,
guys are
yeah.
showing
Yeah.
in the
That's
UK.
what it is.
Yeah, it's
Well,
the
I just
over.
build a PC with like all SSDs.
That's not
and
how
then
you say
put
it.
it on a lazy Susan and spin it around, so it's a spinning drive and an SSD.
So Derek, what did you hop to, man?
So I got home tonight around, I don't know, 7:30, a couple hours before you guys started. And I was playing around with my Calculate install, and I went ahead and did an update and, you know, rolling releases. Rebooted the machine. There was a problem with Xorg. And I thought, well, I could sit here and fix the problem. But you know what? I was planning on hopping anyway in a couple of weeks when the 1804 releases came.
Yep.
So I went ahead and put Lubuntu 1804, the daily build, on this machine. I got it installed about 5 minutes before I joined you guys. So here I am.
Nice. That's timing.
That's cutting it fine.
Yeah. That was lucky.
I figured I would test it out, and what better way to test it out? You know what? Big Daddy's podcast right now, so let's see if everything's working. So
there you go.
Nice.
I love it. Well,
I think that's the only one of the 1804s I haven't tried.
Yeah, I really like LXDE, so that's why I picked it. And it's stable, it's lightweight, and you know what? I think I want to stay with stable for a little while. I've done Calculate, Antics, and Manjaro recently, and I want to get back to things just working right, at least for a few weeks.
Yeah, I get it.
I get bored and gotta hop again.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Derek, you seem to love all the problems you had with Antics.
You know what? It was an experience. I mean, I lived in it for a week. I made videos. I streamed in it. Same thing with Calculate. So
go away.
Well, you streamed when you could actually close OBS.
Yeah, but you learn from that experience. So.
Touche.
Well, I'm on the Ubuntu 1804, so
the GNOME, the main edition.
one, yeah.
What happened to the whole? I'm not using it because it's not production ready.
Well, it's like 2 weeks away.
Did somebody say something?
Yeah.
It was static. I don't know what it was.
Okay.
I mean, they're technically betas, but I mean, the release is so close now. I mean, they're not changing anything.
To be honest with you,
They're still going to change. They already have a lot of exceptions going through, but it's funny because this particular release, it's like, you know, the normal release is feature freeze, no new stuff. Right. But this particular release, there is every version, every flavor is making so many exceptions. Like, maybe let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, good. GNOME has a big memory leak.
Every time I start up Kubuntu, there's at least 15 to 20, if not more, updates every single day.
Yep. Awesome. There will continue to be that too. Because the Ubuntu team is like very consistent with new stuff.
I sent you a couple of videos during the week, Rocco. Did you get those, or you're not using the Snap or Flat Hubs anymore?
I'm using the one right from Telegram. I didn't feel like trying to find out. You know what I mean? Like, I had other issues that I had to take care of, so I didn't feel like going and finding out what the problem was with, the Snap version.
I'm glad Colin mentioned Snap. So Calculate, Linux, and Antics before the last 2 weeks living in those two distros. I missed Snaps. That's one of the reasons why I kind of left those behind. Snap has a requirement of systemd. Neither Antics or Calculate use systemd. So.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, snapd to install it. One of the dependencies is systemd, and neither one of those distros use systemd. So,
right.
Hi guys. No, I like Snap before I use
Ben. Hi Ben.
Well, I found my problem with the Mac.
Well, I don't know if we'll be able to help, man, but go ahead.
Never used a Mac.
Yeah, let me just phrase it this way. I've been trying Antergos, Gentoo, blah, blah, blah. I even tried Ubuntu Mate 1804 Beta 1.
And that didn't work?
Let me point out this, Barb. When I had it on the high DPI setting, I have to use the proprietary NVIDIA graphics. Here's why. I'm a gamer. I like to play. And when I switched to that graphics driver, it broke. I literally had to reinstall. Xorg would not load. It crapped out. So that's why I'm on the GNOME version right now, because it didn't do that when I updated, did all the driver installs for my Wi-Fi, blah, blah, blah. But, my sound's not working. My webcam's not working. Everything is a nightmare. So I want to go back to Mate, but the problem is I'd have to reinstall to do that. And I just, I'm torn between, going back to that, and I'm just up in the air right now.
Do you still have a Mac OS partition on it or not?
Yeah.
Okay, because that might be where it gets flaky. If all you have on it is whatever distro of Linux, it'll probably be fine. But Mac OS doesn't really like to have. I've run into this myself, so that's why I know. It doesn't really like you to have anything else on it but Mac OS. And when Apple has an update, your Linux partition goes bye-bye.
Right. So what
I've already found that out the hard way.
Right. And you see when I installed the Ubuntu Mate 1804 or whatever, that was solely an Ubuntu Mate install. And when I do the driver for the NVIDIA.
Oh, it goes flaky. Yeah, I had that problem.
Right.
I couldn't use
this is actually a dual graphic system, Intel and NVIDIA. So it's even more flaky than it should, because this is a 15-inch Pro 2013.
That's the same. I have that one.
Right, and I can't get the dual graphics to work, and I know I'm probably not going to be able to do that without some fucked up trickery.
Yeah.
All right, easy on the language.
Sorry, but I'll cool it. But the problem is that it's some screwed up trickery you have to do to get both cards to work. It's like, oh my god. So I don't know what to do. This is and the problem is the battery's acting funky. The graphics are all funky, and I
don't even know if it's the Mac, because I also have a Dell XPS 17 and it's got the dual graphics cards, and for a long time I could not use the NVIDIA driver because it would just basically go into God knows where land. So I wonder if that's part of the problem.
Where I'm coming from with the graphics problem.
Yeah, so
no, with the Mac you have no choice. You can either use Intel or use NVIDIA. So that
because of Apple has
you can't. You have a choice.
Sockets. Yeah. That's the thing.
With the
NVIDIA
XPS,
driver,
you can do the Optimus switching back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is Optimus a pain in the neck to set up?
It's impossible in a Mac.
Yeah, that's the problem. I know. So you're kind of stuck with the NVIDIA or the Intel, one or the other. Yeah, which is kind of a drag, But if I want to switch away, I'm going to have to settle for one or the other, which is kind of a drag. But it is what it is. I guess I'll give Mate another try and just hope it works. But I'm not holding my tongue that it'll. But I mean, I guess I don't really have much of a choice unless I want to stay with Mac OS. But I guess it's kind of a 50-50 shot at this point. I don't know.
Well, you got nothing to lose if it's not working now,
Mm-hmm.
so you might as well just go for it.
Yeah, all right. Well, thanks, Ed. I mean, I don't want to give up hope, but it's. I might as well just throw it on there and see what I can do. So,
a project that is great for not giving up hope is Elementary OS.
Elementary OS is definitely great.
I'll tell you, I tried Elementary on. I tried the live USB on my 2013 MacBook Pro, and it wouldn't run.
Yeah, when I reinstalled tonight, I almost thought about putting Element. No, I didn't.
You didn't. No, you didn't. You totally didn't.
I don't think Elementary is the answer to things, except for Alan over here who thinks it's
right. Well,
I was going to say, unless your name's Chicken, then it's the answer to everything.
Yeah,
hey,
and it's
Elementary OS is the answer for most situations. I will give him that.
Yeah.
It's Elementary.
There was a
That's
nice
exactly, Colin. Exactly. Thank you.
There was a nice post on the
Look, he's got his Minecraft sword. Look. The hack, yeah.
Mate, just for the fuck of it, for the sake of it. Excuse me. But all right. Well, I'm gonna give it a try and see where I end up. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Good
all right. Have a good one.
You too. Bye bye.
Right, you're welcome.
Thanks.
There was a nice post for Elementary on the subreddit of R Linux. They had somebody posted this saying that Elementary changed their mind about Linux in general. because they thought that Linux was ugly
Yeah.
or hard to use. And
I saw that. Yeah,
yeah,
that was an interesting post. That
Yep.
Yeah, and I've made that comment that with two distros, Elementary and Deepin, you know, if we show those to Windows users, it'll change a lot of minds about what Linux is.
Yeah, I agree.
Because those UIs are what Windows and Mac users, you know, would feel comfortable in.
Yep.
As long as they use it as it's supposed to be used and not play with it too much.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a lot of people who would be okay
There's a
with
video coming
using
soon
how it
where I
is.
show you how you can.
Yeah, but you know what? Most Windows users and most Mac users are not going to try to
No, they're
mess
not.
with it anyway because they're not used to
No.
that where they're at. So I think it would be perfect for them.
Exactly. And it would work fine because they don't really care. They don't want to make any changes to stuff because they don't know how. That's not why they're using it.
Well, the thing is,
They
with
want
Deepin,
ease of use.
With Deepin, I've noticed that even if you try to change the themes, icons are fine. Themes, they've got their own themes set up for different applications. So, and they got the dark and the light and all that. So, I think they're actually set. You can't change them. I've tried.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot change it, but it looks nice the way it is. So you might as well just.
It looks great out of the box.
I mean, it is. Yeah, that's right. So, and elementary, you can slightly change elementary, but you can. There is a way, but are they changing? Are they changing their theme on the new one? Do you know, Alan?
No, I don't believe so. They are bringing new sort of aesthetic things, such as like the panel transparency and whatnot. But the theme should be fairly similar.
It's the majority of the same, but they're updating it. So, like for example, they're cleaning up the icon set to be more like uniform.
Is the 5th edition out yet of the elementary OS?
Do what? Is the fifth edition what?
Yeah, the 5.0, is it already published?
No, it won't be out. It won't be out until at least like May or June.
If it was, I'd be on it right now.
Yeah, it's based on 1804, so they don't release until 1804 releases.
There.
And Rocco, you'll be bored in a week.
Maybe. Maybe.
Not maybe. You would.
You're giving him a week?
Yeah. Good call, Jansu. Good call.
But it would be a really good looking week, let me tell you. Just saying.
I would enjoy it for that 1 week.
If you're on Ubuntu, Rocco, you should try that Aaron. How do you say it?
Already did.
Thing. Oh, you already did? That's
it's
a nice
awesome.
thing.
It is really awesome.
Don't you think that reminds you, the sidebar reminds you of the Deepin Software Center? A little bit, the sidebar?
Well, I sent a screenshot to the Telegram group with that theme on. So
Yeah, we all ignored you.
Yeah, I know. But it was still beautiful.
I missed it. Are you talking about the community theme?
No, it's called let me get the exact spelling on it.
It was the community theme, wasn't it? Isn't that what was originally?
No.
Is that
Community
another
theme
one?
is the one that's like a modern version.
Oh no, that's right. That's the other one for Ubuntu. Yeah.
Aaron, I think, is by Paul XFCE, like over off of GnomeLook, or maybe it's Vinilush, Vimix author.
It's a really nice theme.
It
I think it's Paul
is.
XFCE.
It is by. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking. I can't find it right at the moment.
Are you on GnomeLook?
Yeah, Paul XFCE. Yeah, that's who that is by. And it is a really nice looking theme.
It is.
Oh, this one. Okay, yeah, this guy's made like quite a few interesting like custom themes.
And that light blue one's nice as well. That I wish he'd pick better easier names. Either easier names to like say, but like
whoa. This is
Linux.
Thank you.
Sun.
Thank you.
Easy ones,
Like Guayadec.
Yeah. Herb Sloof.
Herbs Luft. WM. Yeah, I love that tiling window manager.
Herb Sloof.
Well, Michael, what was that online player? Or was it like Cumulonimbus or whatever?
Yeah, Cumulonimbus. Yep.
Oh,
yeah,
it's so easy.
Cumulonimbus cloud player, whatever. Yeah.
Cumulonimbus cloud-based music podcast player has was basically from the moment it came out as public, got bashed for its terrible name. Said, "Good point. It's now called CPod."
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
I think we should make a Linux rule. If it can't be pronounced, nobody's using it.
You wouldn't have many.
90% of the applications.
So what do you think about Gnome Gnome or something?
Yeah, there's a lot of apps that are very popular. No one can pronounce correctly. So.
You guys ever seen that video?
Okay.
Which video?
The one where the news, the weather forecaster pronounces this really long Icelandic name just perfectly. That's what we should name something.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
He would be the only guy that would be able to
the only
pronounce
guy
it.
using it.
Challenge accepted.
I'm scared now.
You know, Rocco, this has been unusual for me. I realize in the last 3 weeks, I've had 4 different distros installed on my main production machine. That's not like me. How many distros were installed on your machine in the month of March?
Wow. That's a tough question.
That's loaded.
He lost count.
Yeah.
That is loaded like baked potato.
I don't even know if I would begin to even try to count that, how many were on there.
Well, we have 30 days.
You need to start keeping a log.
I should. Really, I should. I should keep a log because then I would know when I tried something last and any problems I had, but I haven't.
Put little stars next to the name, like this distro was 3 stars.
I just started using
Rocco, you should
Simple
use. I was going to say you should use Simple Note.
There you go. I just started using Simple Note, and it's really nice, actually.
It is.
I started putting all of my Linux stuff in there, like the stuff I put in the to mount the hard drives automatically, to make my shortcuts, all the links to it, and it's really nice. So,
and then you can get a version for your phone too.
Yep. Already on.
Remembering to go back to it, that's the biggie.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Remembering that you made a note.
No, I remembered I made a note for the hard drives, and then I couldn't find the note. I didn't tag it right.
Trick is, for every note you make, you have to set a sticky note on your desktop.
Yeah.
Yeah, except when I reformat, and then all the sticky notes are gone.
Now,
we know how much this means anything, but have any of you looked at DistroWatch lately?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they're doing some April Fool's stuff, I think, over there.
I just brought it up for fun, and it defaulted to year 2002. And guess what number 1 was over Mint back then?
Blackware.
Ubuntu plus additions.
Well, Ubuntu wasn't around in 2000.
Yeah, nor Mint, nor Arch.
Yeah, none of those distros were around in 2002.
In the beginning, there
Right.
was elementary.
So, first of all, why did it even default to 2002? It goes to show you how well this site works, because I was watching somebody kind of get in a little bit of a bickering match about DistroWatch saying this and saying that, and it's at this week, and it's like, oh my god, do you realize how important that is? You know?
Yeah, literally nothing in that top 10 existed except Debian. Let's see.
Oh, you have Mint?
Yeah,
That
Mint wasn't
there
around.
then,
Yeah, none
2000.
of Antergos, Manjaro, none of this was around. Soren.
Fedora.
Fedora.
Debian.
They were
Fedora,
around.
Debian, Red Hat, SUSE.
Well, okay, so
That's
now
it.
I went back to 2002 again.
Of course, the big one back then was Mandrake. Yeah, Mandrake.
Mandrake's the one that's on there at number 1 now. It went back. It changed it again now. I have no clue why it's doing that. But
Mandrake would be accurate, like at that time.
Because Red Hat would be second. It's kind of fun to
Gentoo
look at
third,
that.
really?
Spire probably too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gentoo didn't exist in 2002.
Gentoo was not around in 2002. They were 2004, same year that Ubuntu started, I think.
Yeah.
So at the same time, one person tried to make
a really easy distro. The other,
compile it from source.
Yeah, exactly.
One person did not like fun.
Yeah. And I think Arch started in 2003. So, it's funny. Yeah, there for a couple of years, all the big distros really were 2002, 2003, 2004. What we're using other than Debian.
Yeah,
I'm old. I started with a Red Hat 6.2 on an alpha machine.
I don't remember when the 6.2 was out. That was during the time where Red Hat was a desktop operating system too.
Yeah, like you could literally go into Walmart and buy
the CD
boxes.
I can't remember when I started, what year it was, but it was KDE 3.5
probably. Yeah, that was the big one. Yeah, the last one before they killed it.
So I don't know what year that was, but that's when I officially went over to Linux. I had tried it before, but when I went to them, when
I first tried it, it was nowhere near when I actually switched. But when I first saw it was in 1998. First time I could try it was 1999 because the internet was super slow. So I had to wait until one of my friends got cable before I could actually try it.
My first experience was 1996 with Slackware, installing it from floppies.
Oh, not so nice.
No.
Oh, that was painful.
41
floppies.
Don't copy that floppy.
Unless it's full of Slackware.
Huh? Oh, and then configuring it was a nightmare.
It still is probably for Slackware.
Yeah, probably is.
Slackware has the Slack builds now, so it's not as bad.
Yeah,
but it's still. It's still.
I know back in the day, yeah, you didn't have a package manager. They didn't manage dependencies.
No.
Yeah.
And then you were dealing with enclosures and how to set that up to make for your hardware. Oh, I hated it.
It sounds like so much fun. I don't know why we stopped doing it that way.
I mean, that's why I'm not so big on distro hopping and all that. It's like I've had my fill of it. I just want it to work. You know,
I've been tortured for years.
Yeah,
but distro hopping is so much easier nowadays, Barb. I can have a system blown up and installed in probably less than a half hour.
Oh no, I know that, but
depending on the distro you're installing,
yeah,
I think Rocco's he's gonna get a custom plate for his car that says NKNPAVE.
It's just D-hop.
Rocco has a point though. Rocco has a point. I started installing Lubuntu 15 minutes after the podcast started tonight. And
of course, it's
45 minutes into your podcast, I was joining the stream.
That's what I'm saying. It's so easy now. It's
all right. Well, now that we've got the whole congregation gathered here, let's talk about creating a machine to distro hop for us.
But is it congregation with a K?
No.
Yes.
IRC is dead.
Oh.
No, it's not.
It is in my heart.
It's IRC will never die. Like there will be so many things that are better.
If it wasn't for Linux support channels, IRC would be dead. So.
Nope.
No, because there's a lot of other there's other channels on Freenode. Like there's a lot of massive usage.
Programming channels. There's a lot of.
I found like an entire channel.
It's the same kind of vein.
A full assy GIF of the entire Rick Astley's "Never Gonna Give You Up" that just constantly plays through in IRC.
That is amazing. That needs to happen.
There are a lot of networks in Freenode.
Yeah, there are other networks too. Yeah, but I mean, Freenode's is the go-to. It's the best.
So, Derek, with this whole Lubuntu thing, is it a good iteration of Lubuntu or what?
I literally have not even looked at it. I got through the install and then joined the podcast.
So, I mean, like,
not even clicked on a menu yet.
So you don't even know if it's any better than any other LXD.
I haven't done an update and rebooted the machine. I literally got through the install. I installed Zoom and that was it.
Are you sure you are not on the live install at the moment?
No, this is not the live. This is the real install.
Trial by fire, right, Derek?
I may stay on Lubuntu for a while. You know, I've gotten tired kind of hopping for a little bit. I just want to settle down on something for a little bit.
It can be frustrating at times, and I feel your pain. That's why I had installed 1710 Mate because it just works.
Well, I feel like you spend so much time backing up stuff, transferring files and data over. It becomes tedious and a
Mm-hmm.
waste of time. You spend hours doing that. You know, if you hop a lot.
What's that?
Data drive. Use data drive.
What's this backups you talking about?
Yeah, you should probably do that.
It's when you go into Euro Truck Simulator and you hear that beeping sound.
Yeah, but he just runs over everything. So it doesn't
Michael, he does not use reverse. Zeb does not use reverse. Okay.
I was gonna say, have you play Euro Truck Simulator?
You know, a lot of Linux professionals even recommend you do 2 backups. You back up and then you back up your backup. I don't do that, but
I know somebody.
But I do make multiple copies.
I know somebody in my family that has 3 drives for backup. 3 backups.
And one needs to be offsite.
I do offsite backup.
So a quick straw poll here, people. Yeah, you're all doing these wonderful backups. When was the last time you restored it?
15 minutes ago for me.
Derek, you're the exception to this question.
Every time
because a backup is only as good as the last time you restored it. So Derek's fine; he's covered. He's just done it.
How you back up as well? Like if you do like the backup systems where you have to test it and make sure it works, or do you do like backups the individual files like manually?
Individual files.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Yeah, but even
I do both.
Even if you have a backup routine, that part of that backup routine goes back and checks the integrity of it afterwards, doesn't mean a damn thing. I worked for a company in 2001, and we had 4 weeks worth of backups, and every single one was no good when we tried to restore it.
Sounds like Windows.
Backup program works. I've checked this backup; it works.
But
lost
Michael
4
makes
weeks
a
worth of
point.
data.
Are we doing snapshots and time shift, or are we actually physically, transferring stuff to external drives? So
I usually
sounds like an
use
automatic
like GRSync or RSync to do files.
I transfer.
I don't trust the programs.
I do
No,
a
I just
couple of
transfer.
things. Like
I
I
do
keep an offsite backup of various.
I do it all on the external SSDs. I just
put
don't-
everything in Facebook.
Yeah.
They keep everything.
Back it up to the world.
No, Michael. Facebook does it for you.
Yeah,
No,
never
that's
lose
a good point.
anything.
That's a good point.
I was going to
Never lose
say,
anything.
Michael, the NSA does it for you too.
Yeah,
they're very
my
handy.
my perfect backup is Google. Okay.
Well, I was going to say, you got 3 backups right there. You got NSA, Facebook, and Google.
Apple.
There you go.
No,
More
Ron's
than
not
you
here.
rsync and an S-box for home use.
Yeah, that's a good option.
Nice. Yes, it is.
I use a Mega Drive cloud service.
Mega Drive, yeah. Well, I don't know how I feel about the whole cloud thing because there's certain things that I don't care about being on the cloud, and there's certain things I don't want on the cloud. So then, but then if you do it that way, then half of your stuff is backed up on the cloud, and then half of it's not. So then it's kind of like a waste to me.
Well, what I do is I get an army of about 30 pigeons, and I just get the hard drive and tie it to them, and they take it for me.
The hard drive that has the backup files for elementary OS on it, right?
Wait. Do you have a single string per pigeon to the drive, or is it is there a string to each pigeon to a single drive that creates like a canopy structure?
It's multi-string.
So imagine like a parachute, like each one.
Okay. So it's so it's all connects to this middle central point. What if that central point breaks though? Then you have like another problem.
Oh, that is.
Or they drop it.
Do you have a backup problem?
That's how I would
Like
get rid
where
of
you have a bunch of dolphins waiting in the ocean to catch your stuff? Because if that's the case, and you have it's solid.
That's a fair point. I mean,
What if the
waterproof
dolphins
box,
missed, though?
it's ready.
Wow.
Sometimes you can run with dolphins too.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but in terms of backups, I do a few different things. So I do keep an offsite backup, and I just let that do its thing. But it also depends on what kind of data you're backing up. So whether it's for archival purposes or whether it's for system recovery purposes. So I do, for system recovery and just basic data recovery services, like I run backups twice a week. And they go on site, and then that's offloaded to the offsite location at the end of the week. But for archival stuff, that happens daily, and it just depends on what stuff I want to be archived, whether it be documents, pictures, stuff like that, and that gets sent into those specific locations and locked down.
One of the things I like to do is like all my config files, I just put that in a GitHub repo. I have my own GitHub repo. That way, I don't have to worry about that. Yeah. So it makes, like I run OpenBox or Xmonad. I've got that stuff on GitHub. I just pull that right down, clone it, install it.
Okay.
What?
Perfect timing.
That's an interesting way to do that. I never even thought about doing it that way with GitHub.
Yeah, all your dot files, those hidden files, all your dot config files. Yeah, just put that on GitHub, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
Then every install, you just clone that, and you're good.
I use Git, but I don't use GitHub for it. But Git is a good option to do it.
Huh.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of doing that.
Yeah, only config files though. It wouldn't work for like storage or anything.
But is that a private GitHub, Derek?
You can't have a private GitHub unless you pay for it.
No, it's all public. But I mean, this is not personal information for the most part. Anything with passwords, you wouldn't want to put on it. But
right,
it's like your settings for various programs. Like
Plasma.
Yeah, like my Bash RC or my Vim RC. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean maybe like Kdenlive's config.
Yeah, exactly. In any programs you use that you configure and they save a config file, just put that on GitHub and you never have to worry about it again.
Yeah, most applications save a config file anyway.
Yeah.
So how do you have to like how do you update that then?
Git.
Like if you change your settings.
Yeah, with Git. Yeah, so you change your settings, it gets written to a config file on your system, and just go ahead and do the command in your terminal to send that to the Git repo.
So you copy what you do. The easiest thing to do is to copy the files because they're not very big. You just copy all the files that you want to keep, put them into the Git repository that you cloned to your system. Then you use the Git add asterisk, which was just grab everything. Then you do Git commit. Then you do Git push.
Right.
Put your credentials in. If you have SSH, you want to put credentials in, and then done.
If you want to get real creative, what you can do is you can create a special directory for all your config files and link all of them to where they are on your system. That way they're all in one folder. And when you do that git add, git commit, you take care of all of it.
Yep, you can do that too. Symlinks.
Symlinks, yep.
That is nice.
You can also, what I would suggest, for people who are not going to roll your own Git like I do, use Bitbucket. Because Bitbucket allows for free private repos.
Okay.
And if you need to do something normally, use that. I just pasted the link in the tool set. Nice software. It works.
Easy back. Oh, Duplicati, yeah. That's a good one.
What is that?
Duplicati, I think, is the back end of Deja Dupe.
Yeah, but that also does like a compression thing, doesn't it?
Yeah,
and it encrypts it.
Yeah, I was just never a big fan of backup programs because of not making the one-to-one file copies. Because I may want to go into my backup to pick out one file or something.
Yeah, you want an incremental backup, yeah.
Yeah.
At one point, I just made like a script that kind of did that for me. It just ran like a tar program with like a PXZ or a PIGZ, and it just did that automatically, added whatever wasn't there, and then had that run.
Isn't that what Duskgate did? The scripts?
He might have. I don't know if I've ever looked into his backup scripts. I didn't know he had any.
No, his was install scripts, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what
his was install script. It's really pretty.
Yeah. Depending on how geeky you want to get, I mean, you could always just have an extra drive. You can just mirror your drives.
Well, I know exactly how geeky I want to get, and that's geeky.
Yeah. I don't take backups that seriously. I mean, I back up, honestly, twice a month. Maybe I remember to back up all my data.
It's better than nothing.
But Chicken, you got to remember, it's Dust Google too.
Dust Google.
Yeah.
I trust Google.
For backups, you have a RAID array.
Yeah, you can do a RAID too.
I mean, if you want to go all out to like ridiculous, you get like a FreeNAS and set up ZFS with like having all your configs and all your data.
What do you mean all out? I have that.
That is all out.
I mean,
it's kind of like what I do.
I'm not saying it's bad, but going all out is like, you have a full FreeNAS server, you put everything on the FreeNAS, and you link it all back.
I really like FreeNAS.
It requires more effort than I'm willing to do most of the time.
Yeah, but that's really nice because you can just stream all the content from it to your cell phone or anything, basically, or to your TV. It's really nice. Or your Steam library through gigabit Ethernet or something.
Yeah. I have everything stored that I want to have access between distros in a single drive, but it's not a FreeNAS or a NAS at all. It should be. I guess I should do that. But, effort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. The guy talking about effort who has 2,000 macros on his keyboard.
There's only 200. There's only 200. It's
Dolphin, don't feel paranoid.
That's a fair point. I have
just
nothing to say
up.
about
Birds.
Keep calm and back up.
It's called priority, Michael.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? We take this backup thing too seriously, though. We've all had major breakages without backups. And no matter, we thought the world was ending, we got over it. Yeah, just because we lost those precious documents that can never be replaced.
Or you can be like what I do. Is I back things up, like my certain directories. All my data goes on the file server, goes on one or more different machines, and I have an external drive. So all of them, like my documents are on all my, are accessible no matter which machine I'm using. Mm-hmm. And I've done that way for ages, and it works for me. And I can access them because I put them on a file server. If I'm not home, I can still access them if I need them.
It's a good option.
Yeah. You just have to organize it in your brain enough to be able to. And I've been doing it this way for years.
I have multiple copies, and both in like the backup solution stuff, but also in like the individual files because why not?
I prefer backing up like just the directories or whatever it is in the files, and not compressing them or anything. Just stick them out there.
When the people who back up, how often do you back up, and how long do you keep copies of those backups? Do you have multiple iterations of the backups? Mm-hmm. And how many, if so?
I never get rid of my backups. I have all of them, like a few terabytes of data.
No, I usually keep about a couple, 6 months worth of backups.
Okay. Nightly, Jansu said nightly. So how long do you keep them?
I have 3.
Okay, so you just cycle through. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So are we just talking like snapshots, like with time shift, or are we talking about?
It could be a copy of like you. I mean, however you want to do it.
Yeah,
like
because I typically don't go further than a month with the snapshots for actual data. I mean, I never get rid of that. I mean, if I do hard copies of files on a drive, I keep it.
Yeah. Oh, and the other
no matter how old it is,
Yep.
Yeah.
The other thing that I do, since I'm not a distro hopper, I actually will, once I've got the drive set up the way I like it and everything is updated, I'll clone it, and I'll periodically re-clone it.
Because it's good to keep, like even if you have like hard copies of all your documents from like a year ago, because you've got one from a week ago, you never know if that one from a week ago is going to work.
Yeah.
And it's better to have what you've got than lose everything.
So, Barb, you're talking about you clone your distro itself, or and what do you use for cloning in Linux? I've never cloned.
It takes forever, but I'll use DD and clone it.
Yeah, be careful with DD.
I know.
Yeah, be careful with DD.
I know. I'm very careful with it.
Very simple way to clone it, Joe.
Huh? What's that?
I was going to say a very, very simple way to clone it, Joe, is to use known disks.
Yeah,
there's an option on there to take a backup of a particular partition on a hard drive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, I know there was software, Clonezilla.
Yeah, Clonezilla would be the easiest one, I would think.
If it's still around, I haven't looked at it in a long time.
It is.
Clonezilla is constantly getting updates. Their website is not.
I've always just kept all my data separately, and bottom line, if I mess something up, I do a fresh install, then I know everything's clean. but then you got to go through the hassle of reloading everything. But you know,
but that's where DustGeek's install scripts comes in handy, because I don't back up any of my operating system because my data's separate. So if I have any problems, I just reinstall and just install everything. But installing everything now is easy anyway. It's
right?
not that hard. It's not really that hard to catch up.
But Colin, what do you keep on your data drive? Like I have my videos, documents, and that stuff on the data drive. But do you keep the config files to your programs on the data drive as well?
No, I don't know.
That actually probably wouldn't be a bad idea either. I never gave it.
Yeah, in your home folder, there's a hidden folder called .config. Save that thing. That's where 90% of your configuration files for your programs are.
Some of it's in the .local folder.
Yeah, some of it'll be in other places, but the .config one's gonna have most of it.
Well, that would make sense because I save a copy of like Euro Truck or American Truck Simulator or whatever, and I grab that file and just bring it over, and it refreshes everything right up. So that all makes sense.
Well, I thought about making certain programs, like the important ones to me anyway, is like Kden Live and OBS, and put them config files on the data drive and then just do a symlink to the folder. But I don't know if I'll end up getting like 40 symlinks that I'll have to redo. I'll have to make a script just to install the symlinks.
Yeah.
How to make things the hard way.
But the .config folder is just basically holding the information for your Firefox and all that stuff, right? Isn't that
everything? Firefox is in the local though.
Yeah, Firefox has its own folder.
Is in your home folder.
I think there's only a few programs. Firefox, Thunderbird.
Thunderbird's another one.
Steam is in your home folder. GIMP is in your home folder.
The Vim config, for those of you that use Vim, is in your home folder.
KDE config.
For that one person that uses Vim.
You know, there's a lot of Vim users out there, right?
There's a lot of stuff that sits in the home folder.
The Xmonad config files are in the home folder.
For that half a person that uses Xmonad.
Themes.
For those who use Quadlibet, it's also in your main home folder.
Is it?
Yeah.
Your most importantly, the .minecraft folder.
Say, did your mic just go?
I think the most important folder out of the dot folders is the dot icons and the dot themes.
Dot icons.
Yeah, dot themes is in there.
You need to keep those.
You see, the thing is when you
your
do
dot
that,
fonts. If you have a whole bunch of extra fonts.
If you hop from one desktop to another, those .config files get confused, don't they?
Yeah, they get
yes,
yeah,
they
you
do.
don't want to. You don't want to actually like literally take all of them and bring them back. You want to just take the ones that you need or the applications you are reinstalling. So you basically say like what applications are the most important to you, and then save the configs for those.
Yeah.
But if I install Zoom, then everything's on Zoom anyway. Telegram, everything's on Zoom's just used for video.
No, Zoom uses its own .zoom file.
Yeah,
it does. That's one of the ones I back up and transfer every install is the Zoom folders.
99% of all applications on Linux will store something in your home folder in a dot folder or dot.
Yeah, but what's it storing? Because every time I do a fresh install,
any settings, any program that you have to set anything, whether it's username, audio settings, video settings, whatever, key bindings. Think about everything you do in a program. That's saved to a configuration file somewhere on your system. And most of
that's no fun. So I joined.
And if you don't want to lose like your mail and stuff,
everything's working.
Exactly, Colin. If you would have saved your .zoom files, you would have not had that issue when you connected to this morning.
Exactly. It would remember exactly the settings that you chose the last time you used it.
No one would have
separate hardware for playing and for production.
Yeah. I mean, that there's as far as that goes, I do have like certain things I will back up just for the fun of it, but there's a lot of things I back up for I have such a ridiculously custom Plasma experience that I have to save every folder, every combination of things for that. But like, there's some things I don't care. Like, I don't care about Clausmel's config, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you use Clausmel's
in my home folder? But I don't care.
Well,
it's because I don't use Clausmel, so I don't care.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wouldn't care about it either because I wouldn't use that thing.
Yeah, Clausmel is the fastest, most reliable
ugly.
Ugly.
Hey, but you back up the .thunderbird folder. I know you back that one up.
I do. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I actually back up fonts because I have a lot of custom fonts too.
Well, that's why
I do my fonts.
That's why I went to the data drive like Colin's talking about, because I used to just partition my main drive from the home folder. So the home folder would be on a completely separate partition, so I could just nuke and pave the root drive, and my home partition would be there. But when you switch from GNOME to KDE or GNOME
or Solus to Ubuntu or something,
it's all messed up. Then you just got to redo it anyway. So that's why I'm going to the data drive so that it's not even there. And I'm only saving what I want.
I have a main data drive that has like all the content that I care about, but I also have, you still got to store. I still store all my .config stuff in the home folder. I don't bother with like having symlinks because effort.
That's smart.
But but other than that, I do have it separated. So all my Steam games are on one drive and stuff like that.
People have written scripts to automate that symlinking process for you. I've never used any of them, but I mean, there's some real nerds that write scripts that symlink everything they need to have symlinked.
I'm going to have to look for one and then just modify it a little bit for me, but I'm going to have to look for one because
that way you run that one script and that 100 symlinks you need, or
exactly. See, he knows.
See, I would write a script, but effort.
Yeah.
Right. But typing, huh?
Exactly. The only barrier is effort.
Yeah, typing. That's tough.
That'll do it.
Anna, how can you say who cares about themes? Everybody here cares. Okay, so I care about themes, right?
I care about themes.
I don't back up themes, oddly enough. I don't bother backing up.
Well, you can
as long as it's dog team, everything okay.
Same thing with icons. I mean, I know they're out there on the internet. I don't bother with that.
Yeah, but then you got to go out and get them every time.
Yeah, gnome look. Google and gnome look. Done deal.
Yeah.
Just connect to Eric Dubois repo to get
the Sardi.
Sardi. Oh yeah. By the way, very elementary OS.
All those themes are one pixel off.
We're looking for an elementary OS icon set. Sardi is the way to go.
Is it the way to go?
Yeah, it works well.
Nice.
Yeah.
I use whatever.
There you go, Rocco. In main chat, RoboGlot mentioned a program called Stow.
Yeah.
For your symlinks.
It's a GNU program, Stow. Yeah. I've never looked at it, but it's one people recommend when you talk about symlinking .files.
Stow.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm gonna look that up.
I'll put a link in the chat.
National treasure reference.
Yeah, it helps you, organized. Well, I guess stow your files away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, play on words, huh?
Yeah,
so it's an appropriate name, unlike cumulus, whatever.
I'm like
the earlier.
Cumulus.
Cumulonimbus.
Cumulonimbus.
Yes, cumulonimbus.
So this was
never happens in Linux. No.
That's the name of the city that Chicken was talking about.
It's great.
Chat.
Dear Lord.
Isn't it great? We need to create something with that name.
Is that what Windows and Mac users think whenever they look at a Linux application?
That's exactly what they think.
That's what they think. Yeah. They think
I can
I've seen
actually say this not in full speed, but I can say everything it's supposed to be, just in like a.
If you ran that in the shell, what would happen?
It would die.
Could always run the parrot.
Yeah.
Right, Chicken?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out Stow because I don't know if I feel like. No.
Like how now Rocco's like, oh, effort.
Now I don't know how. I have no idea how user friendly Stow is going to be because I mentioned it is part of the GNU utilities. So
right,
so there's that to consider.
Oh, effort.
Copy and paste.
There's a lot of good things that are a part of the GNU.
Not from a UI point of view.
Yeah, Emacs. No.
GNOME is a GNU project.
Speaking
of
GNOME is a GNU project. I'll think of some more.
Yeah, sure.
I was with you till you said GNOME.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and I reiterate prior statement.
I said it looked good. I didn't say it worked well.
Hey, did you guys see the big news on OMG Ubuntu about the memory leak in GNOME?
Yeah.
They're working on a fix. That's the news.
Yeah.
They're working on a fix.
They said that last
collecting
time.
badly.
Well, I mean, they did last time they were trying to isolate the problem. They figured out what the problem is, and now they're trying to fix it.
I've got trust issues, okay?
During my live stream, I didn't put it in my show, but during my live stream, there's a I pointed out something that was really interesting. That particular bug has been in the GNOME shell for years.
Oh wow!
But a lot of people didn't know it existed because all of the bug reports were not triaged properly in various different distros. So I found a bug in Ubuntu that for that particular problem in 2015 February. So and it was not no one from the Ubuntu team even responded to it until May of 2017. Wow. And their response was basically, this is an old version of Ubuntu, it's not supported anymore. That's essentially what it was. But the biggest problem was that they didn't triage it at all, and they didn't seem to actually care until GNOME was selected as the DE, which is fair enough. It's not it's not their job to fix GNOME's issue. That's GNOME's problem. But the issue is also like multifaceted, where the vast majority of people who are submitting bugs don't know where to submit the bugs to, don't know which exactly is the people who are going to fix it, and the people who are taking the bugs might not get to them quickly, and if they do, they might not tell them where to go specifically to like what's the best place to go to it. And then then you can find bug reports that are like a problem that is something as big as this that has to be fixed as soon as possible, that have been reported in various different places for years. So that's why bug reports are important, Ryan.
I reported a bug for Nautilus crashing. So it went through the whole process, submitted it, and then I got an email saying that it was submitted. And then I got another email saying that it was closed because it was a duplicate of this other bug. And if I wanted to go there and check out if it was the same and add my comments, I could. Except for that bug was private and it was not found.
Oh, that's useful.
Yeah, some of the triage is weird.
Wow. I mean, why is it got to be? If you want bugs to be reported, then you better make it a little bit easier to deal with.
And I wonder why they want our data. Just a little bit.
Well, I mean, this is actually a reason why the decision that they're trying to change is a good thing, because they'll actually have information that they can use to improve things and all that other stuff.
Well, it's gotten better, especially the whole reporting thing, because it's pretty much automatic that it does it for you. I mean, it does everything for you, except logging you into the Ubuntu website.
Right. But don't you want to opt into that, Rocco?
No, because I have the option to not send it.
Yeah, but by default.
By default, it is on. That is kind of weird.
By default, we don't care.
By default, it's a good thing, right? So, huh? Interesting. Yeah.
Anyway.
Stop it.
See you, Chip.
Anyway, Rocco, Anna had a good idea for you in your symlinks in chat. Did you read that?
No, I didn't read it. What was it?
Get Ryan to do it for you.
Nice.
Hey, there you go.
And pay him in Bitcoin.
Wait. Well, the whole good idea stopped when she said paying for it. I mean, no, we're not paying him.
You don't have Bitcoin, so just give him the promise of Bitcoin.
Yeah. What? No, that's out the window. Sorry, Anna. But yeah, they got to really, really do a better job at explaining the whole bug system to people that aren't familiar with submitting bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though it's getting better, it's still got a long, long way to go.
I agree.
The problem, it's not the sexy thing to do. It's not the sexy thing to develop more. It's a distro, not the bug reporting thing.
That's also why people don't do documentation, because it's not, it's not cool. It's not fun. And so, bug reporting, triaging bugs, like it takes a dedication both from the user for reporting and for the people who are triaging. So, like, I respect the people who do it as far as like, in general, but it is painful, especially like with the bug reporting. Almost every bug reporting system is just trash. Like Debian's is awful. It's so painful. And like, hey, let's keep using emails from 1995. And let's make sure we have a template structure that you have to use in the email. And if you don't do it properly, we'll ignore you completely.
That's useful.
That's fantastic. And then they have like other projects that actually use something more modern, and it's Bugzilla. That's also terrible.
Yeah,
so it doesn't matter. So like pretty much no matter what you do, there's like I don't think there is a single
never
bug
an easy way to do it.
Yeah, there's not a there's not a good easy method.
Google Plus could be used for bug reporting, I reckon.
Oh,
have a page in Google Plus.
Well, I mean, other than the triaging aspects, you could ping someone and let them know it happened. They were like, okay, cool, put it in Bugzilla.
Upload a video, a few screenshots.
Video. See, the issue is that videos are very important and very helpful, but they're not connected to a bug report, like a specific structure. It's hard to keep track of things. So when people when I have problems with bugs with projects that I work on, and someone says something on YouTube or says something in a forum and expect me to see it, like I'm not going to see it. But if they send me that video in an email or they send me that video in the bug report system, then that is fantastic. That is the best type of bug report, just like to fully see the demo happen. Like, I've never seen a better option. But
the problem with bug reports, the problem with documentation, contributing to wikis is it's work. All that typing. Most people are just
don't bring in the effort words. Come on.
Yeah, but seriously, I mean, if you want to really contribute, it's like a job.
I'm trying to justify putting in effort, and then you're giving me reasons to not do it, and I have to agree with you.
And then you got Rocco trying to find ways to not have effort by not doing symlinks.
I mean, look at the wikis out there. Look at the Ubuntu wiki. Think about the tens of millions or hundreds of millions of people that use Ubuntu. The Ubuntu wiki is horrible because nobody wants to contribute time to fix some of that stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's why Ubuntu forums are trash.
Yep.
Just because they're so out of date. Like their forums itself this forums concept is great for discussions and great for like troubleshooting, but as far as like actual like guides and tips and like specific questions, it's no.
Don't look at the past forum posts. Don't look at the wiki. Just go ahead and ask a new question on Ask Ubuntu, and you're going to get a much better support.
Yeah. So one time I got in trouble on the Ubuntu forums for referencing a post that like was relevant to the solution, and they called it like cross posting, but it was like two different things, and I was like, this is relevant to the solution, but I'm not allowed to
cross posting. Who cares? It's a forum.
Yeah, well, apparently
that's weird.
That's an issue. Yeah.
A lot of weird things go on in Linux forums, though. I mean,
yeah. That's true.
Have you ever posted the Arch forums? Go to the Arch forums and ask for support sometimes.
No, I did that in my early days of coming to Linux, and that was the last time I ever went back there.
I stay away from the Arch forums.
I've actually provided support in Arch, and
Arch Wiki isn't bad. It's kind of nice.
I read a post on the Arch forums the other day. I laughed out loud because a guy asked a support question, and I guess one of the moderators, there was a moderator on the Arch forum. He thought the question was kind of silly, and his response was, "How did you even get Arch installed?" That was his response. No offer of support. He just, "How did you even get this thing installed?"
Yeah, because they want to know. They want to know whether you use one of the other installers.
They know that They know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. Like that's just a snarky, dismissive comment. Like,
yeah, it is.
I'm not going to help you. I know you have no business being here. That's what that response was.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the problem with that.
I find Solus has got the best bug reporting. Solus has got the best bug reporting, I reckon, I've found so far.
I don't think I've ever used that.
Yeah, I haven't used it yet either.
I can't remember what it's called, but it was. I've been through it a couple of times, and you actually go searching for whether the problem exists, and it's pretty well laid out. And then if you can't find that problem there, then you submit it. So
nice.
It's got
so it has an automatic tracking detector, like to
yeah,
search.
sort of. Yeah, I just can't remember what it's called actually.
Okay, well that's cool. But as far as like the forums go, like the reaction from the Arch team is looked at as a negative. These people are jerks. However, from their perspective, it's reasonable response. Now, at the same time, it is rude. It is impolite. It is jerkish.
Yeah, I gotta disagree a little bit. It would be better not even to respond at all, rather than to respond with, "How did you even get this thing installed?" Just ignore it if you don't want to help the guy.
To Arch, you're using the Arch forum. You're using the Arch IRC. You're using things like that. You are putting yourself into a position where Arch itself specifically says it is for experienced users. If you are not an experienced user, do not use Arch. And if you do it anyway, we're not going to help you, because by default, you should be able to help yourself first. And if you can't, then you can prove to us what you have done to try to solve the problem. If you can't do that, you shouldn't be using Arch. That is the Arch opinion up front on the wiki. So while that is jerkish, they have preemptively said, we will be jerks if you do that.
I don't want them to run some of these people off or tick them off so much that they go back to Windows. You know, that's
honestly, if anybody tells a new user to use Arch, that person should never give a suggestion ever again.
Absolutely.
Ever.
I was going to say,
in defense of that, I have to say something like the Arch merge was like totally easy to use, so easy to install. It's just awesome distribution to use. So it's like,
but you seriously can't be suggesting to give a new user, like a fresh new user to Linux, an Arch-based distro.
A brand new user can install Arch. A brand new user absolutely can install Arch. All they have to do is read the wiki. Now, maintaining Arch is the problem. It's not the install; it's the maintaining.
No. Okay, there's a difference between new to Linux versus the skill to do it. Right. And also the patience to be willing to do it.
Right. A new user could read the Gentoo wiki and get Gentoo installed. That doesn't mean they could run it once it's installed. Yeah.
I don't know. It depends on, so it all depends on what we're calling new user. If we're talking experienced computer user, new to Linux, yeah, I think I would agree with you. If you're talking new user and only surfs the internet on Windows, ain't no way they're installing Arch, even with the Arch wiki. Ain't no way.
The Arch install is not that hard. If they can copy and paste for the most part.
It doesn't even matter. They're not going to understand what's going on, and they shouldn't be.
They won't understand what they did is the problem.
But I've tried.
But they shouldn't even be. They should never hear the words Arch Linux ever, unless you have had a deep conversation to find out their experience level with computers. If they're just,
I was going to say, I
those
think
words should never come out of your mouth ever.
I was going to say
I think that problem, like, it wouldn't ever happen if people didn't give so much attention to all the different flavors of Arch, like Antergos and Manjaro, and people saying that Manjaro is the mint of Arch, and people say that all the time, actually. And people say that Manjaro is easy for beginners. Stop it. No, it's not. It's still Arch based. Stop it. If it has Arch in the name, or is as foundational based on Arch, no.
Yeah, exactly.
But the biggest problem with Arch is the wiki is not written in English. It's written in gobbledygook.
True.
How the hell are you supposed to understand half the stuff they're talking about?
Because they expect who is reading it to also be an experienced user, to have like the level of Arch users they expect you to have. That's where it is.
If we're talking good documentation, no matter what distro you're running, you need to have the Arch wiki bookmarked and you need to have the Gentoo wiki bookmarked. Those two will save you.
Disagree. No, I agree with that. I've used Arch wiki for other bases.
Arch wiki solves me all the time.
Yeah, it does. No, it does.
Disagree. Whether Arch wiki is good or not is not the point of why I disagree. It is good.
Well,
Gentoo Wiki is good. I found things in Gentoo that Arch didn't have, and I added it to Arch to help, spread the information. That's fine. The issue is that when you tell people to use something, you shouldn't tell them to use Arch anyway. You shouldn't tell them to use the Arch Wiki, because then they start being experienced to Arch, and they start, oh wow, I just want to use this. This has all the answers. I should just use the thing that it's before. And it's like you're like, until they have they make the decision, I'm going to use something that requires a lot of effort. They need to make that decision themselves.
We should clone the Arch Wiki and rebrand
like
it
that to people. And like depending, unless they're a power user for Windows Power User, then whatever.
The one thing that I have a problem with the Arch Wiki is that it's great, except for when even if you're like a newer user and you copy some of the commands that are in it, it's fine. Except when it has an error that is not listed in the Arch Wiki. So you can copy a command in, you can paste it into your terminal, and you can run it, and it'll run fine. And then the next one you'll do, and the next one you'll do, and then you'll run into something that has a completely different error and is not even mentioned on the Arch Wiki. And you're like, okay, where do I go from here?
Or you can do what I do when I tried to figure out how to do a certain networking structure inside of VirtualBox. Arch Wiki didn't know how to do that. So Gentoo did. So I had to go to Gentoo to get that. Then I added it to Arch Wiki. They disagreed of how I added it. They edited the context of the words that didn't really describe what I wanted to describe. And now it still doesn't have what I wanted to add.
You didn't use the Arch syntax or whatever.
I didn't use the proper
even the Arch syntax. I've just posted something into the chat, which I copied from the Arch Wiki. What's wrong with my copy and paste?
No.
What's wrong with the copy and paste? Why is that not going to work? Because it's got the bloody hash on the front.
Yeah, I was about to say, other than the pound symbol, Well,
the pound symbol.
Yeah, and you got in every single Arch post the hash sign. The
but they have to put that. They have to put that in the to let you know that you have to run it as root. You don't actually copy. You're supposed to know not to copy that.
But it doesn't tell you anywhere not to copy the pound sign.
Yeah. It's just letting you know you need to run that command as root.
And that's where we go wrong.
Then say it above. Run this as root, and then give you the command.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, a new user will copy the whole thing.
Yes, I guarantee
they don't care because they don't want new users using Arch in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that.
A new user's not going to be bothered with Gen F file system tab, mount, whatever. They're not doing that.
Sometimes you just like copy it and then you're on the terminal and you paste it and then you're like, oh fuck, the hashtag is front of it. God damn it.
Easy on the language, dropping the F-bomb.
Oh, sorry. Again. I'm bad. I'm really bad at this.
As far as the Arch has the reputation of being a hostile community. They're not hostile. It's like it's people going into situations that are they're not
prepared for.
Not really should be there because they're not prepared for it. And
it's like bees and wasps. Like everybody thinks they're wasps, but they're really just bees.
Yes, but okay, and maybe you have a point that maybe somebody shouldn't be there, but they also don't have to be that way.
They don't. They
don't have to react that way either.
Totally not be jerks.
Yeah,
there are some
they could totally not be jerks.
Type distros that are not jerks and will say, "Hey, this is not for you." Like the Slackware team, they are very hardcore. They're basically they're the Gentoo level of stuff. But they're very open and they're very welcoming.
You know what? The Gentoo forums are not like the Arch forums either, to be honest.
Yeah. The Gentoo has like a 50-50. You'll either find someone who is the most nicest person ever or no.
They'll try to help you fix your problems regardless of what you're running sometimes.
They will even be rude but still help.
Yeah.
But so they'll still try. But so it's more of a they want you to use Gentoo regardless of your level because they want to help you be a Gentoo user. So that's they might be rude and they might make jokes or something, but they're still going to try. That's why. And Slackware is less jokey. They're still pretty much just try and ignore whatever level you are. But it's not really necessarily the Arch's fault in the sense of like when they tell you up front, if you can't use it yourself, you need us for help, don't use it. And that in Gentoo and Slackware don't do that. They don't say that. They don't have that preemptive approach. And there are sections of the community that are way worse, way worse than Arch. They make Arch looks like angels. And like trying to like when someone says that the Linux community is hostile, that annoys me because certain parts of it are incredibly welcoming and nice and polite. And like Mint, Ubuntu, even Gentoo people can be like incredibly polite. The Slackware people,
but there's this elitist crowd out there that some of them I think want to drive people away from Linux. They want it to be special niche. They
want to be special.
So exactly. They don't want it to be popular.
Minorities, don't you think, Derek?
They are, but they're the loudest sometimes, too.
Right? And they're also it's like the good old boys clique, is what it's.
I agree completely.
I think even so far as the Linux Mint forum, sometimes I've seen some not so friendly responses to people.
It's every forum. The Ubuntu forums, I've seen some nasty stuff. The Debian forums, I've seen a lot of bad stuff in the Debian forums.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of it's RTFM.
Yeah.
Forums in general are kind of like they seem to be create a echo chamber. Whereas Ask Ubuntu and stuff like that, like a Stack Exchange structure, where anybody can edit anyone else's comment, and then moderators can say, "Oh, okay, that's a good edit," and blah blah. And then you can fix. And if someone is rude in those sites, they will just say, "No, we're not going to accept your rudeness, so get out." Whereas forums, it's hard to moderate forums. Like I've been moderating forums since like the 90s, and they're painful to do.
Yeah,
and like even now when they're like the whole new versions and new modern stuff like Discourse, it's still painful. Like Discourse is one of the only platforms that is actually reasonable. But the rest, like the old forum style, like, Envision or Power Boards or whatever.
Yeah.
Those are just painful. But there's I just don't like the term, the phrase that people give of it. It's hostile. Like it's 95% fantastic, and then there's some horrible people.
As every community, whatever it is the same.
Yeah. Well, the only problem is that the people who are horrible in the Linux community somehow are really good at being loud at that.
Yes, they are. When I made a video about a month ago about the Linux community being toxic, and I got hundreds of comments on that video, and a lot of them were from people that used to use Linux and left and claimed they left it because how they were treated. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure many of them are actually telling the truth that they needed a support on a forum or a chat, and somebody was mean to them, so they just said, you know what, forget this Linux thing. I'm going back to Windows, Mac, or whatever.
Yep.
So it does happen.
Well, I think something you guys have to benefit from is that I am probably the loudest person, and I'm just the best guy ever. So
yeah.
You preach for elementary the loudest out of anybody.
I've got my megaphone ready.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought you were continuously using it, honestly. But
the first couple of times I joined the stream, no lie, I thought Chicken was the main dev of Elementary because he talked about it so much. It up, I was like, that's not the guy.
Give it time, Derek.
Yeah, but eventually I'll die and like comb my hair exactly like him. I'll start wearing
He'll be chicken foray.
Yeah.
On that note, we are 2 minutes over.
Uh-oh.
Can you believe that?
Wow.
How time flies.
Yeah, and I still got to finish my install here.
Is that blast word
when you can pave?
Last words from me is coming back to my roots. I mean, I really like MX Linux and Kubuntu and Arco Linux, but there's only one Linux for me, and that's Peppermint Linux.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Jansu?
Good night. Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here, so.
Hey, have a great day. Matt?
TextDigital.com/dark one.
Nice.
That's a good link.
Unity for the win.
Joe?
Back up and back up often. It's just how many times do you back up?
Lamer?
Have a great Easter.
Yes.
Same to you, Lamer.
Same to you, man. Michael?
Touchdigital.com/Big Daddy Linux.
Yes.
Ooh,
I love it.
No Amazon link?
Nah, he gave that earlier.
I would never do that. Touchdigital.com/Amazon.
Colin?
I'm going to leave the betas, I think, and maybe try deep in on my main. See how it goes.
Wow.
That's great.
I'm going to try that.
Well, Elementary OS, it's happening. It's happening. Hey, look now, it's happening, man.
I think he picked up the megaphone.
It's okay. I was gonna go all infomercial, but I wasn't sure if.
For just 3 easy payments of nothing, you could actually.
Derek, talk about Zeb's salary that way.
2 words: Bionic Beaver.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't get you flagged for adult content. I'm sorry.
Good thing we're ending this stream. Hoomer.
No. Breakfast with Big Daddy Linux. Yeah. And I'm still on the Fedora 27. I didn't hop as I said I will. Oops.
Oops.
Nice.
You going to stick with it or what?
Excuse me?
How long are you going to stick with it?
I don't know. Maybe if I said this week that I will stay on it, next week I will not be on it anymore. So I don't know, something like that.
Well, you've only got 1 month until the next Fedora, so.
Yeah. No way, you got 1 month until they might reschedule it again.
All right, so my last word is check out Destination Linux, episode 64, Monday. You won't be disappointed. Well, you may. You may if you like no.
I have to compliment you guys. You had me in stitches this week to the point where I had to screenshot it and put it in the Telegram group, which I know you saw.
Yep.
You guys were in rare form.
Oh, yeah.
It was a good episode, so.
Yeah.
I just can't get Dust Geek out of my mind with the little camera and the big guy with the big camera there. Dust Geek.
Awesome. All right. Thanks for everybody showing up, and we will catch you next week.
All right.
See you guys. See you guys. See you later.
Ate chicken.